But then the Edo State government once again has called on the youth in that state to maintain peace. And of course, he assured them that the right thing will be done and those who are liable will be brought to book. Okay, moving on. The Federal Government Committee on Prison Reforms has decried the violation of fundamental rights of prison inmates across the country. Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory High Court and Chairman of the committee, Justice Ishaq Bello, facilitated the release of 13 inmates during a tour of Imo State prisons yesterday, where Governor Rochas Okorocha paid their fines. Okorocha admitted that prison atmosphere in the country could not guarantee the transformation of inmates after their release, adding that the justice system was responsible for prisons' congestion. Now we have a little clip of some inmates that were recently freed who have a story or two to tell of how they got there in the first place. Let's take that. We'll be right back.
To decongest prisons. Like I said, prisons are not just meant to be punitive, they're also meant to be reformative. You don't reform people under conditions that like we have seen here. And everybody under the Constitution of Nigeria is entitled to the dignity of person, even if you're a prisoner.
They arrested me at Osodi Bolade when I was selling CD. They take me to Bolade police station, Alausa. From there they transfer me to the court. From court they brought me to here. The place there is hard though. Oh, it's hard. When we sleep in hard way. Wake up hard way. The place is congested. The food itself is not okay.
I was raided at Oshodi when I was going to my office at Ojo Elegba. They just say it was raiding. I didn't have any offense. It was raiding. They are just packing anybody at that place. A lot of things. It was not good for me because in the morning, the food they give us is not up to something. In the afternoon, we drink gari every time. Afternoon, night, gari. So even when we sleep, we don't have enough space to sleep. We're shocking ourselves. Like 25 and 90 people in a room. We're shocking ourselves together till morning. So those bed bugs, that place had bed bugs. Those bed bugs will bite us, destroy our body, do everything like that to us. All the soup they are giving us, no salt, no anything there. Everything was bad. So we don't have any good time here at all. It was a tough time.
One day I was coming back from market and two men that just rushed me and hold me, and I didn't drag with them because I don't know where they're taking me to. So when I found myself in the police station at Aboju police station, so they kept me there 5 days. Then now brought me to this place. But I didn't do anything. They said that it was reading Kaya. I didn't know what is called Kaya because I have not been in Lagos for it. I just came to visit my brother. So that's how they get me.
Collect the money. Welcome back. All right, so now we're discussing the state of Nigerian prisons. Ibe, let's talk about the prisons.
Okay. The prisons, for one, some of the prisons, like the one in Port Harcourt, I heard was built, I think, 100 years ago. To 100 years this year, 2018. So initially it was built to hold like 800 people. And we have over 5,000 people there presently. And over 75% of those people now are waiting trial. And they are still there now, even as we speak. So the government now is aware I heard the vice president is aware of this situation now, but what steps will they take now to make sure those people that have been detained without trial will be either face trial or let go so that they can go on with their lives? Because imagine somebody staying over 10 years
of his or her life.
When you come out with the experiences, it's difficult to pick up your life from where you left.
Exactly.
From where you left, and that's stigma being an ex-con. It's in our society. Even people that have not even been to prison don't even have jobs. So coming out, where are the jobs that you're going to get?
All right.
I think there should be drastic steps should be taken to make sure that the prisons are decongested and people will be left out soon.
Wow. All right. Mike, there's something in which is worrisome because a lot of people keep on crying about the food there. I had to Google and check one of the best prisons around the world. I found out that there was one that was in Germany and it had like, it's more or less like the only thing is just your freedom. It's like not just your only thing. You understand? More than like beat 4-star hotel itself. But you understand? But the main thing is, once we now had the Minister of Interior, he said they spend close to almost about 10 billion every year on feeding of prison inmates. Corruption. That's more or less like 14,000 naira daily.
14 or 16?
Is it 14 or 16?
14, 16.
So you understand, to feed one person daily, and those ones that are actually the inmates there are saying what they get is half cooked beans for 16K. I know how much a derica of beans is.
And you heard that guy that's saying it's Gary, they drink Gary like...
So the 16K, where is it coming from?
So where is the money allocated to take care of inmates? Where does that money go to? Have you ever seen anybody go to prison and they are robust, like they look fine, like they are well fed? No, like seriously, where does that money go to?
Well, corruption. Corruption. That is just the bottom line of the whole thing, corruption. I think the best prison is, I think, Norway or Finland. You would never imagine that is even a prison. The third best prison is actually a ranch.
Wow.
Yes, it's actually a ranch.
Wow.
So you have the liberty to come out. Everything is there.
Yeah.
You know? So, of course, I mean, compared to the Nigerian situation, let's just forget it. We are still jokers. Our leaders are jokers. And for me, you see, until that day, you start jailing our leaders, the same prison that these guys are, that is when you now have hope that, yes, something will be done.
But we've had some of our leaders stayed in the prison.
Which prison? Which prison?
Not this type of prison.
Some of them are released to in their houses and they are there in their houses. Do you see the prisons? You don't see them. You do not see them. So until they start facing the same cruelty and environment these guys are, that is when you now start having hope that, okay, actually prison reforms will come. But apart from that, it's not going to work. We still go back to the same issue here. You have a force that are not educated. All they're interested in is bail money. They hold you on the road, arrest you, the next thing you are in jail. You do not know what you have done. You have a judicial system that cannot dispense justice at a fingertip. And everything is prolonged, and you are there for 10 years for what you do not know anything about. So you see that the whole structure, from the justice system to the enforcement and everything, is faulty. It is faulty. And it still goes back to our leaders until they understand that, look, first and foremost, these people are human beings. They are Nigerians.
Sure.
Whether they committed a crime or not, they are Nigerians. Prisons are supposed to be correctional facilities.
Yes, yes.
But you see so many of these people, when they go to prison and come back, they are more hardened. Because of the situation and the environment they find themselves in. So, if we do not get that structure right from the leadership, we are still going back to the same problem. You say you spend 10 billion. For crying out loud, 10 billion. and one person is 16,000 naira a day, and I know the food that they eat there. Have you visited places like Panti before? You have like more than 100 people in a small room. And you can imagine the toilet and bathroom they use. You would never believe that human beings use such places. So until we start saying, okay, where are the issues? First, you have to fight away that corruption. And make sure you find a means whereby this 10 billion, if you allocate to prisons, to inmates, they actually get that what? They are actually properly fed. And then you decongest the prisons. You cannot get sane environments when you continue congesting.
But do you think the government actually makes money from when the prison is actually congested?
You see, sometimes it's not even about the government. Sometimes it's about the official, the corruption that goes on in the system. The officials themselves. I mean, it's clear. Bail is free, but you pay for bill. You pay for bill. Tax. Then if you do not have money to pay for bill, you are sent to prison. And you get to prison, what happens? You are waiting trial forever. The judicial system is something else entirely on its own. So at the end, how would you? Sometimes governments are not even, the government, you see that it is more or less the government in the local and state level. Something happened 2 weeks ago. I was chatting with a friend of mine, and she told me that a government official arrested the husband. What was the issue? The husband was trying to intervene, and they got him arrested and sent him to the police station where he was in the cell for most of the weekend. And I said, okay, what are we going, okay, what's really this thing? The issue is the man was just trying to be a peacemaker. But the government official felt, oh, because I have the power, he got the man arrested, sent him to prison.
To deal with him.
To deal with him. And they said it's only the government official that can release the man. And at the end, the man had to pay for bail. And when they got to the court, thank God the main person that was involved came and said, look, this man was just a passerby. He was just trying to make peace. He didn't do anything wrong. So you see, when people let power corrupt them absolutely, that is also what happens. Because you have small power, you think you can arrest anybody and throw them in jail.
I think the judicial system really is the bane of all this, because if you expedite justice or hearing on cases, you understand, and all of that, people don't necessarily have to go there to go and be waiting endlessly. There are people that have been there for more than 10 years. They are still awaiting trial. What kind of trial? When the system has already tried that person, because that person is already serving a sentence. So the system has tried the person already. Okay, so after spending like 15 years, you now come out, they now judge your case, and then they find out you are innocent. Then who compensates you for all those years you have spent in prison? All right, people are reacting already. This one says, that Ikoyi prison is very bad because I have been there before. I don't pray to go back there, so please help us find human rights to fight for their freedom. Some are there, they did not do anything at all. Please fight for us. Okay, I'm sure they are listening. What are our human rights organizations, police and prison warders, what are they doing? They are all involved in this case. The warders and politicians are taking the money made for prisoners. Okechi Gilbert from Ghana sent that one in. Okay, these people that are calling the line, please stop, please, please. All right, this one says, in the words of Patrick Obahiagbo, our leaders, I can't read this English. I'm sorry. I cannot read this English.
This thing is too gigantic for you.
Yes, it's too humongous. Oh my word. Okay. All right. The clips of the prisoners just shown simply buttress the point that the justice system in Nigeria is full of evil. I weep for Nigeria. Shegun Da Silva sent that one in. All right, this one says, thank you, The Buzz, for this program. I was opportune to visit the prisons, to visit prisons across the nation. It's a gory sight. Do you know some of them died there without any crime because of infection? Wow. Corruption has eaten deep, but we trust in the power of divine intervention this year. Having said that, I visited a prison not too long ago on charity work. And not to mention, that the conditions are quite deplorable. But I must say kudos, to a lot of NGOs and also a lot of churches. Yes, even as much as we talk about churches, but a lot of churches actually have a very strong prison department. And because of them, a lot of these prisoners are alive because they give them hope. They give them hope. They take food and basic, necessities to them regularly. Of course, there are stories out there that these things sometimes is just half that gets them. At least something is getting to them. So we have to commend those people, and we hope more people will come out and do more while we wait for the government to do the proper.
Yes.
We'll wait for a very long time. That is the truth.
Well, you've actually said it all. Right. If most of the government officials get to stay and live in the prison there, they would know how it is.
It's simple.
All right, our time is fast running. We have about 2-3 minutes on the show. So let's just mention, let's just mention this issue of our lawmakers and funny constituency projects.
Ridiculous constituency.
Recently, Senator Dino Melaye went on social media and he showed off the 100 kVA generator he just bought for a community in Kogi State. And of course, he captioned it, "Promise Fulfilled." And in a similar development, yes, that's the generator, you just saw it there. Okay, the senator representing Niger South Senatorial District of Niger State, Senator Mustafa Sani Mohammed, commissioned an electric pole in his constituency. One electric pole.
Like, I guess that's the pole.
No, someone asked a question on social media. Is this the campaign promises? Is this what they I don't, even the English is jamming in my mouth. I was supposed to be excited, about this.
And the man was actually saying cutting the ribbons as a commission.
It was a fanfare. It was a fanfare, really, to commission one electric pole.
He's actually giving them hope that electric.
Quick last words, so we can go.
It's quite unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. In fact, I even have hope because what my senator, the senator from my state, did for his people. The man bought trucks, tricycles, sewing machines, and it was a massive fanfare. In fact, what he bought almost filled the stadium. It was massive and televised live.
Wow.
So at least when I compare him to what I am seeing here, I still have hope that one day we will grow in this country.
When they mentioned Gino, why did you giggle? He's a lawmaker.
Dino is my man. I love him.
He's everybody's man.
I love Dino.
You can't just help but love that man. You can't just help but love him.
All right, our time is up. And of course, we know of a governor that shared wheelbarrow. Yeah, we've heard so many things. Some went about sharing tea and noodles and funny things. Do things that will empower the lives of the people in your constituency. That's all we're saying. Many thanks to you, Ibia Uchikalu. Thank you for joining us. And thank you, Michael Odion.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a great show because of you guys. Alero.
Yes, my last word. Please, in as much as the policeman, just take them as your friend. Please be polite.
Be polite. That's it.
No matter how it is, just smile.
It's gonna get better. I have hope in Nigeria. Serious one. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. Enjoy your day.